Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another LinkedIn Live webinar session. I'm your host, Thomas Cole. We have the one and only Taylor Otto as our co-host. Taylor, why don't you tell the viewers about a bit about yourself for those who don't know?
Yeah, hey everyone. My name is Taylor Otto, implementation consultant here at Discara. Part of these weekly webinars, and very excited to be back with another one this week, talking about outsourced contract manufacturing.
Mhm. And for those who don't know what contract manufacturing is, Taylor, can you share a little bit? Some people might call it private label manufacturing or outsourcing manufacturing. Can you share a little bit about what contract manufacturing actually is?
Yeah, so companies use contract manufacturing for a variety of reasons, depending on their business needs. Whether it's more cost efficient to outsource a job or an operation, or if they just don't have the means to do that in house, maybe they don't have equipment to perform an operation.
Yeah.
And what it actually is you are sending out materials that you own to another offsite company who's going to be performing work for you.
Yeah.
And so when it comes back in, it's a different SKU. So, one of the common themes we hear, with our clients is, if you're coding something or you are anodizing something that you don't have the equipment in your own warehouse, you would send out, screws, for example, have that job done, and then you would get back a coated screw instead of doing it yourself.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you're pretty much sending it out to a specialized manufacturer to get it done on your behalf, and then you receive that inventory back into your warehouse. Am I correct?
Yeah, nailed it.
Okay. Perfect. So, generally what we're going to look through are, why are companies moving more into contract manufacturing? And what are some of the common challenges we hear of manufacturers who use contract manufacturing? Now, before we get into that, we typically go through a stat. And this week, according to Purchasing Magazine, 54% of companies surveyed outsourced some part of their manufacturing process in the past 2 to 3 years. So, what we're seeing, Taylor, is a shift from a lot of manufacturers in the US to using specialized contract manufacturers to run their operation. What are your thoughts on the reasons why we're moving towards this in the US?
Yeah, so kind of like what I said before, 54% of companies are outsourcing some part of their manufacturing process, and I think it comes down to two things. One being, what's most cost efficient, and two, do I have the means to do it in house?
Yeah.
So we have companies or clients that use our MRP system, and while 54%, according to this stat, I would say upwards of 90% of our users that utilize our MRP system are doing a job workout or an outsourced manufacturing at some point in their process.
I mean, 90% is pretty high. So, it's great to see that at least our system has that capability for them to keep track of what happens when they send it out to these specialized manufacturers. So, what we typically then look at is the challenges, right? What are the challenges we typically hear from our customers who are using contract manufacturing or who've used some sort of contract manufacturing in the past? And they found it hard to keep track of that. So the three things we typically hear: inefficient tracking and cost calculations, inventory management and visibility, and resource allocation and production planning. So on the first topic of inefficient tracking and cost calculations, what we've typically found is that many businesses face these inefficiencies and inaccuracies when it comes to cost calculations because they're using manual methods like Excel, or they're using pen and paper. Now, the issue with this is there's a lack of real-time visibility into those processes, number one. And number two, human error can be made. If there's human error made, what does that lead to? It leads to things like your budgeting being off point, your profitability being off point. Taylor, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you nailed it, Thomas. Talking about some clients that don't have an MRP system or a way to handle these job workouts and tracking purposes. They are doing it via a spreadsheet or on pen and paper, and what that lacks is via real-time visibility from everyone in your company. If you're doing it on pen and paper, there's one person that's doing that, one person that's tracking what's going on or what the cost calculations are. And we are all human beings. The more manual work that humans are doing, the more likelihood that there's going to be some errors from time to time. And if you end up with errors in your data, it makes it really difficult and potentially really problematic for your business as you're trying to work through what is this costing me? How long is this going to take? When am I sending this out? When am I going to get it back? And to kind of be blind to some of those factors could be really harmful to a business.
Yeah, definitely could be detrimental. I'm sure we can see on the system what that would potentially look like.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we want to show you here is in Deskera, how we create a job workout. And we have a couple different ways. We can just create a job workout from a job workout screen, which we'll show in a little bit here. Whereas maybe, hey, I've got some screws. I know that I'm going to need this for a future product or future project or work order. And I'm just going to create this job workout and send off the material that I own and make sure I get that back. Other times, you're taking a look at a bomb explosion and you see, hey, I've got a work order here and I know that I need 20 coated screws. I've got a shortfall of 20. So I need a job workout because I can't do this in my own warehouse. And we have the option to create a job workout right from this screen. I know I can't do it in-house. So I can create a job workout here. I can select who's doing this job for me. And the unique thing with a job workout is I'm not paying for a coated screw. I'm sending material that I already own, right? And I'm more paying for the service, all right? So I'm paying for each screw that I already own to become coated. So the price here isn't going to reflect the cost of a coated screw. It's going to reflect the service for the material that I already own. So let's say, they're going to charge me $3 per screw. I've got that here. If there's any additional charges I need to keep track of, whether that's shipping or any discounts that this manufacturer is going to give me, I can put that all here, any memo options, but I can create this job workout right from the bomb explosion screen. And again, being able to see in real time how much this costs, how much am I sending out, instead of writing this down on a pen and paper where you don't see it. But anyone in my business that obviously has permissions to do so can see what's going on. Are there plans for a job workout? And to have that visibility in real time is very beneficial.
Indeed. And what also happens, for example, if someone goes on holiday or vacation, if someone falls ill and they're the ones mainly responsible for that, where does that leave the business, in terms of the production? So thank you for showing us that. The next challenge we typically hear is inventory management and visibility. I feel like the first point and the second point kind of interlink with one another, right? So what we typically hear is that, some businesses may struggle to maintain accurate inventory records and, the visibility into where the whereabouts of some of these goods that they are in that contract manufacturing process, right? This lack of visibility leads to discrepancies in inventory valuation and challenges in just figuring out where things are in terms of along the process. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we hear from a lot of businesses is understanding where we're at in the process. One company specifically, we have a client of ours, and the reason why they came to us was because their current system or their old system, when they would do a job workout, that would completely take off the material that they own off of their books, off of their inventory, where, if you were to do an inventory valuation, it would reflect inaccurate information where it doesn't give you that real visibility. And so that's a huge reason why they came over to us. And again, the lack of not being able to see every step of the way. Where is your material? When can I expect this back? Have I received this back yet? Have I paid for this yet? Is something that our software can bring to a business. So kind of transitioning over here to the job workout screen again. You can see very clearly here, any of these job workouts, how much it costs. What the status is. Have I sent out these goods? Have I received these goods back? Have I paid for these goods? And it gives you a very clear picture as to where we are at. I can open up and see exactly what material I'm looking at. Or even better, if this is linked to a work order, I can see very clearly which work order that this job workout is for. What are these products that I'm going to be receiving back allocated for? And I can click right into it just from this screen, and it will bring me right to that work order.
Awesome.
It's very beneficial.
I love how intuitive it is. You don't have to go out of the screen. You can actually view and click on that work order on the screen on its own as well.
Right. Yep. So taking a look at this job workout that we just had, as I go to dispatch the goods, you're going to notice that you're not going to be seeing these coated screws, but you're actually seeing the raw material that I own being sent out. All right. And so when I allocate this, my source warehouse so my product is leaving the source warehouse and going to the job workout warehouse.
Mm.
Again, going back to our client that had this issue of having that inventory off the books, we still own this product. We know where it is. The system tells us where it is.
Yeah.
If we were to take a look at our inventory valuation, that's not going to change. The product has just shifted. And again, we can see exactly where our products are, what's being done to it, and what stage it's at, kind of like what I said here. So I'll put in here, we got 20. I'll go ahead and
the system said you can't move 0 products. You got to pick it.
Exactly. And you can see right here, now I've dispatched those goods. I haven't received them back yet. I haven't paid that bill yet. But again, that happens immediately. Anyone with credentials in your business can see what the status is in real time.
Yeah. And this just goes back to, for example, making sure that you have the right software in place, right? Because the client that you're currently working with did have a software in place, yet their inventory valuations were still getting messed up. So, having the right software is just as important as, making sure that everything is moving smoothly within the organization. Final challenge that we typically hear is resource allocation and production planning. So without a robust tracking system, what typically happens is businesses will find it difficult to optimize the resource allocation and the production planning. This in turn affects the ability to make well-informed decisions on, outsourcing what manufacturing tasks need to be outsourced. And, this could lead to delays in orders being fulfilled, which in turn affects the relationship you may have with some of your clients. Taylor, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yes, talking about resource allocation and production planning, utilizing data that is true data that you trust to make informed decisions that's going to benefit your business best. We talked early on about different reasons why companies may choose to use an outsourced manufacturing, and utilize that service. Is number one, does it make most sense cost-wise? Am I going to save money by not utilizing my own resources or tying up my own employees' time to do this process when maybe it'll cost a little bit less to send it out?
Yeah.
Or on the flip side, maybe it's going to cost a little bit more, where it makes more sense for me to use that information, use that past data where, hey, I've sent it to this company, it cost me X amount of dollars, and it was this amount of material. And then I can kind of use that data, that true data, to make informed decisions where, hey, maybe it's going to cost me a little bit more to do this in-house, but I'm going to save time in the long run by doing this specific job in-house versus sending it out. And it could go both ways.
Yeah.
Where, if you need to get something done and maybe your employees are tied up, it's going to make more sense to get that process rolling, be able to fulfill those orders a lot quicker, to satisfy your customers.
Indeed. And I'm sure we could potentially see what that would look like in the system too.
Yeah. Yep. And another huge benefit is being able to, the production planning piece, where you see the schedule of your whole process, your whole work order, whether that's, job workout or other whips in your process, and being able to have a very clear visibility. Taking a look here at our scheduling, this is for just that mock assembly that we've done. You can see that the job workout is on here. Now you're going to see a very short date here because I didn't change the due date, because I specifically wanted to show you that if an end date is overdue, so if that job workout, if that is passed, you have not received those goods when you thought they were, you get a very clear red indicator. Hey, this is delayed. I was supposed to get this by now, and I haven't yet. But again, this lays out the entire process, what is planned, what is happening, and being able to utilize this information. I can take a look at this job workout here and say, hey, this is delayed. Now I can go contact that vendor and say, hey, what's the holdup? What's going on? And again, use this recorded information. Say, hey, maybe this manufacturer that I'm using to outsource, they have a history of not getting things done on time. Using that information, having that data to look back on, to explore other options and do, again, what is true and right by your company.
Indeed. I love how, as you rightly said, there's that clear visibility to let you know when it's delayed. If that vendor keeps delaying your manufacturing process, it gives you that opportunity to reach out to another contract manufacturer to get that process moving a lot smoother and faster. Kind of just making your operations as efficient as possible. But on my end, I think that's all I have. Taylor, was there anything else that you wanted to add before we head out?
No, I think we covered it. I think just again showing just the benefits of how Discara can help with job workouts and the pros of being able to utilize data, not getting away from maybe the pen and paper or the spreadsheets to eliminate that error and again just used true data visibility to make just the best decisions for your business.
Yeah, keep you as efficient as possible. If anyone else interested in learning more about how to track your contract manufacturing accurately, please feel free to reach out to myself or Taylor. You can reach out to us at sales@deskera.us, and we will be more than happy to answer any questions or walk you through more in-depth demo. Wanted to say thank you. Taylor, anything we wanted to add last second?
Yeah, just to echo what Thomas said, please reach out if you have any questions at all. Talk to us out on LinkedIn. We'd love to hear from you, whether that's on job workouts, outsourced manufacturing, or any feature that you saw in this webinar as well that you want to learn more about. We'd love to have a chat with you.
Perfect. Thank you all for joining again, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care.
Take care, everyone.